Okay, here real quick, I'm going to be showing you from the login process through 2 swipes of Boulder City how to find loot using nothing but a flashlight and a small backpack. So we'll go with the official servers, even though they'll be a little more populated than if we found a private server. Just kind of scroll down. I'm looking to find one with less than 10 players on it. This one will be okay. So obviously, looting this will be much easier with any better melee weapon than a flashlight. It's probably possible without a flashlight, but it would be a lot easier to show new players how to loot with a weapon rather than without one entirely. To start this off, I'll be entering the city from the south, which I suggest. Going through the north is not very pleasant. Okay, so see, we've got our spawn point here. If you log out anywhere, close proximity of this, or if you're just coming through Whitestone, is probably the best way to get into Boulder. The key to surviving here is just keep your eyes open and make sure you're only dealing with as few zombies at a time as possible. You don't want to pull big hordes of zombies unless you know exactly where you can go to lose them. So right here I'll show you how to kill zombies with the flashlight. You want to put their head about halfway between the middle of your screen and the top right corner of the chat box. If you do this right, it'll only take you 7 hits in the head to kill them with a flashlight, which is absurd considering the next lowest is 4. You can also do this in third person. For the most part, you'll want to avoid as much zombie aggro as possible. Okay, so the first loot spot you want to look for is right here, next to that small box. There's nothing there on this server, but there could be. Could be an item box. I'll show you what those look like. Hopefully we'll find one. A lot of the time, though, it's just a boonie hat, which is useless. Over here, I believe, is another possible location for the loot boxes. Sometimes upstairs here there's a weapon. Okay, here's one good way. Yeah, see, there's the boonie hat. One good way of getting zombies out of the way is to aggro them up into buildings here. That way you can deal with them one by one, or you can aggro a bunch of them and then jump out of the window. You just sprint for a second. It'll aggro as many around here. Okay, so I'll show you this method of sprinting. This is a lot more dangerous. Requires a little bit more finesse to get away with, but once you become more comfortable with the game, it'll be a lot more efficient. Nice. Obstacles like this will allow you to get away from zombies. Just make sure you don't sprint on the other side of them, or else you aggro all the zombies that are on this side. Now, we want to be as quick as possible getting across the street, though, because that entire zombie herd right now is going around a few buildings to try to get to us. I'll show you the sprinting again. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through this building up ahead. We're going to jump out the other window. So keep an eye on your sprint meter. There's a spawn point. You can see we've already, by the sound of it, we've already lost most of the zombies that were after us. Grab this crew rifle. More useful. There's often food, water up here. Might be a good spot to find meds and the occasional weapon like you just saw. I found a Kruger pistol. You want to be sure to check this tent down here. It's a pretty good spot. Like I said, this is a lot easier with a better melee weapon. I suggest not sprinting nearly as much if you have a better melee weapon. It just is almost too difficult to kill that many zombies with a flashlight because of how long it takes. It's very impractical to kite them with anything that isn't like a 3-hit melee. 4-hit melees even cut it close. With me, so that'll heal that hit. This building in here, you'll find medical supplies and occasional weapons, and of course food and water. And there's what the item box looks like. This is primarily what we're looking for right now. Let's see, yeah, see there, we got an Imitar out of that. That is one of, if not the best assault rifle in the game. Electroade, if you find those are really useful for recovering sprint. So try not to use them unless you have low sprint meter, because it'll fill it up almost all the way, at least half the way. Out of all these melee weapons, I believe the spike bat is a 3-hit. This canoe pedal, though, is a 4-hit melee, so I picked up the hammer. It's going to be the best. Its animation is a lot easier to use than the spike bat. Just for the sake of showing you guys it's possible, I'll use the flashlight though. Okay, now we're gonna go check the helicopter crash site. So right here is a good spot where you can tell it'll be easy to lose zombie aggro. So don't be afraid to sprint around a little bit. Okay, so now we've checked pretty much this entire west side of town. We started here, we moved a little bit. We haven't checked this area right here. I don't believe anything worthwhile really spawns there. Alright, I'm gonna sprint again. If you want to get by zombies, like what I just did there, and when you're running to them, hit them once as you run by and they won't have a chance to attack you. Right now, I'm probably doing something really stupid. I'm over-aggroing zombies. This is not something I recommend. Be careful also. That guy woke up because I was sprinting, but if you melee strike and you're sleeping zombies, it will wake them up. The entire perimeter of this downed helicopter is a great place to find spawn. See, there's another bat, or a loot box. There's a bison, another pretty rare weapon. Okay, now, when you get down to this few stragglers, sometimes it's a good idea to just go ahead and finish them off, rather than trying to lose them, because that increases the chances of picking up more zombies, which you definitely don't want to do. I wouldn't be surprised if we run into another player here, but I'm not really looking out for them so much right now. Got hit a couple times there. Probably should have just kept sprinting. Put on this helmet. A little bit more protection, a little less style. Okay, now that I've got two good weapons, this Kruger pistol is not worth carrying around. You don't want to be shooting zombies. As I'm showing you, you don't need to use weapons to kill zombies. I'm not sure that anything spawns in this building, but I'm going to check it since they just updated Boulder. This used to be a great place to find items, but it looks like it's not anymore. So we're going to skip most of this flooded area. It's not really worth the time. I'm just trying to show you the most effective and efficient ways to get through here. If you want to invest into looting this place, I suggest you stick with very low population servers. Be ready to find people. If you see somebody, don't be afraid to kill them. You don't want to risk player interaction when you don't have to. But I suggest a bigger backpack than a small backpack. I'm surprised I'm actually able to carry these two weapons in here. But you're not going to be able to bring back much if all you have is a small backpack. I would say at least a large backpack for the sake of safe zone running. Because the closest safe zone is this Castle Pines settlement down here, and that's at least 15 minutes of your time traveling each way. It's not really worth it unless you're hauling back a good amount of supplies. This building right here is another good loot box spawn, so you want to be sure to always check this. Up on this roof you can sometimes find items. Okay, here's a bat back here. That's not wheel. There's a lot of just scattered, mildly useful items around the city, which makes it really nice actually being able to find medical supplies and food, as opposed to other military settlements where you won't find any of those sustaining items. You'll have to bring your own, depleting your own supply. So this is a great place for new players to come and build up your global. And as you see, I mean, I'm making out of this first hop with two great military weapons. The Bison maybe not so great, but the Imitar, one of the best weapons you can get. This spot's going to be really difficult with the flashlight, so I might bypass it just a little bit. Actually, yeah, I will. But there's possible loot locations under this tent right in front of me. We'll be able to see as we go by, though. And if there's an item box, it'll probably be worth going through to pick it up. Oh, see, now we've got zombies, so I'm going to sprint a little bit. Okay, so if there was an item box here, it would be in that spot right there that I'm staring at. Since there's not, I'm not going to bother sticking around any longer than I have to. Okay, so this is going to be your logout spot, is right up here. And it's really great because it won't boot you to any of the other sides of the city, it'll spawn you right up here a little bit. And also you can just sprint until you're out and the zombies here won't be able to follow you all the way. So there you go, that's one full swipe of the city. We left a lot of places unchecked, but we hit the majority of the important spots, where you're going to find loot crates and medical supplies, which is all you really should be interested in. Okay, Okay, and we made it out with 2 pretty good weapons. So this next run, I'll do starting from here, and the end spot is going to be where we started last time. Okay, so for the second run through, I'm going to pick a lower pop server. As you can see, I've gone to the private server section. And all of these populations are much, much lower, though you run the chance of getting kicked by an administrator or other issues like that. But let's see, this has 6 players. I'm going to use the flashlight again for this run, though I did pick up a hammer that last sweep through just to show you guys, in case you somehow don't run into a better melee weapon. Though again, I really suggest coming here prepared a little bit more, bring a decent melee weapon. I would say a 2-hit would be ideal. Obviously it's always ideal, but it would definitely be worth bringing it here, especially if you're a new player. The only issue is dying with it, so it might be a good idea to come here a few times with a weaker melee weapon, stuff you don't mind losing, like maybe come with just a bat or a hammer and a medium backpack. That way if you die you don't have to worry about having lost anything useful. And on that note, it's also really easy to have backup characters here, so maybe you have 2 or 3 of your characters from your account in or near Boulder City. That way if you die and you lose something that you really wanted to keep, you don't have to worry. You have 10 minutes to come in on a different character on the same server and loot the place. And recover your loot, I mean. Okay, so you can see we logged out around here, and we were just booted a little bit that way. So I used up my sprint coming in closer. Getting a lot of frame lag from the zombies on this end. And again, we're probably going to want to just bypass this section. That's why I'm letting my sprint recover a little bit. As long as I have about half of it, we should be okay. But I do want to check for an item box in the one spot. You can see I only have like 2 kilograms left, so I'll go ahead and drop that. Because you don't want to run up to an item box and not have enough room for it in your inventory. That's always a bummer. So I don't think there's a loot box there. I'll run by closer just to make sure. Yeah, it looks like there are 2 wood shield barricades. You can see one there. There's one there. And then there's a beret on the ground. Nothing worth stopping for though. So I'm just going to sprint right here. I know I can lose these zombies up ahead. I'll show you how. Just make sure you always have enough sprint to get rid of them. You don't want to be running out of sprint. Though you can stay out of their range when you're out of sprint by just holding the shift key and therefore sprinting every time your stamina recovers enough. It's not going to be very easy to get rid of the zombies that way though. So now you'll see I'm running into that issue here, where I've run out of sprint, but by walking you're going to lose the zombies that are just a little bit out of your range. So I'm going to walk just a little bit and lose those, because you can see this guy's not going to touch me yet. I'm going to jump up here, I'm going to jump across to this vent. Now the zombies that are closest, they're still aggroed on me, but they're aggroed to that point right there, so he's going to have to go all the way around and get to that spot. By the time he's there, I've walked away. Notice I'm not sprinting, because if I was sprinting it would aggro them. So by walking, they lose you. They're not going to follow me any further. And also any other players coming that way are going to be seriously inconvenienced, which is good for you. Alright, we're just going to check the same spots again. Hopefully we'll find something in this area this time. Looks like there's nothing inside. Yeah, just a mask and some water. I don't really need water, so I'm not going to pick it up. If you have a lot of room, it's probably worth grabbing some of the food from here to throw in your globe. I don't think any items really spawn at this cop car anymore. I always check cop cars though. Alright, Alright, so we're gonna have to deal with a zombie to get to this spot, but that's okay. You really want to pace your attacks to make sure that the zombies don't have a chance to attack you. If you hit them while they're recoiling, sometimes they will strike and get the hit on you, even though you're hitting them constantly. So it's sometimes better to just click each time instead of holding down the button. But, I mean, that's really something you just have to get a feel for. So I'm gonna just use this building as a way of getting rid of the zombie. Not really coming up here to look for anything. You can see now we don't have any chasing us. We can deal with all of them with this helicopter crash though. So the route for here is we go from, that's the flooded area over there, we're gonna check the helicopter, then we're gonna go over. It's pretty much exactly reverse, I believe, of how we checked the first way through. Got my glide going. Alright, so you can see there's a shovel in that spot where we found a bat last time through. But you will find loot boxes here sometimes, I promise. You just have to keep going. Spray. See if there's a flare gun. Here's some bandages. This is what I believe makes this place superior to other military installments, is I'm still finding the high-end weaponry, but I don't have to worry about bringing my own supplies, because you can find meds, and you can find food and water. Just going to sprint this part, it's a lot easier. This building is going to be really dangerous to be sprinting right into. Yeah, as you can see, there's a zombie there. And I saw a zombie upstairs when I was walking by. That's something to always pay attention to. Mosin. See, that's too much weight, so I'm not going to be able to bring that. There is the downside of sprinting around with a bunch of zombies, is if you find something, sometimes you just have to leave it behind. I could go back for it, but I just don't care that much about the Mosin. Alright, I'm gonna have to take care of this guy, he's not going away. Okay, so I'll show you a little bit of how to kite with this mini zombie. It's a lot easier with a, see, I'm gonna get hit here a couple times because the flashlight's just not as reliable. Maybe. See, that wasn't too bad though. you're not familiar with the game, as long as you don't have any skill points, I can't say for sure with the skill points, but a zombie hit is healed by either one antibiotic or a painkiller and a bandage. Two bandages will put you just a little bit below full health. Kind of swing my weapon around here some to make sure if any of these aren't just terrain zombies, if they're actually sleeping zombies, that I'll wake them up when I'm paying attention to them rather than when I come in here and I'm fighting other zombies. Brass knuckles, those are a 4-hit melee weapon. Just food and water, some medical supplies. I don't think we've seen a loot box on this server yet, which is kind of unfortunate. Oh, here we go. See, this is great here. This is a 2-hit melee weapon. So now we've moved up. I guess I'll do this last little part with the machete since I got it. Show you guys how much easier it makes it. Alright, to wrap this up, we're gonna loot these last two, pretty much the new area, I believe. I mean, some of the city got changed, but this area's actually got pretty much the most changes happen to it. They added an entire new military section that I'm not sure how the loot is there, so I can't promise you for sure that you're always going to find something good here, but it's definitely worth checking out. I'll show you another technique up here. How we originally we jumped over that to avoid the zombies. Now I'm going to use a little bit of the same principles. I'm sprinting up here so the zombies on the other side see me and will run around to this side. So then all I have to do is jump over to... I wasn't very showing of the technique because there weren't really many zombies that saw me, but a lot of times this will help a lot because it'll cause them to run all the way around and you can kind of jump over behind them and get here. I would almost recommend skipping this spot if you don't feel comfortable with sprinting the zombies or don't have a 2-hit melee weapon. It's just a little too difficult with the flashlight. As you can see, once you have a 2-hit or a 3-hit melee weapon, it's really easy to just clear out areas of zombies by pulling 1 or 2 at a time. It gives you some time, some breathing room. So we put ourselves in a dangerous spot. Being inside these tents is always dangerous, that's why I recommend clearing out the zombies around the tent before going inside. Because if you get squeezed inside of the tent between 2 zombies, it's really difficult to not take damage. A lot of times it's difficult to just live. Just here, grab those. Some bandages. I've seen a lot of medical supplies on these picnic tables over here. I would check here. I would say check the other side of this as well. I assume it's possible for item spawns to be over there. Okay, now we'll head this way and check the last spot and I'll show you where to log out. Just going in here to kind of avoid zombies over by the Humvees there. I want to aggro as few as possible. It's honestly just about saving time. It'll be easy to deal with them, especially with this 2-hit. Yeah, you'll see there I slipped up. I kind of took one step too far and ended up aggroing a bunch of zombies. And see, then you kind of get this chain effect of stumbling into more and more zombies. Well, this is actually a really good example, because you saw one loot run where I got pretty lucky. I found two good weapons. Can't really complain about this. This run, all I saw was that Mosin, and I think there was a Kruger pistol that I passed up as well. But you know, a few meds. I made it out with more meds than I came with. Means I can keep repeating this and not run out of supplies at all, which is really, really great for this game. And when I log out, you can just sprint this. Just run up the hill until you lose the zombies and then log out wherever you are. If you plan on coming right back in, where you log out doesn't really matter, but I would suggest finding a spot a little bit far out if you're going to be gone for more than an hour. That way when you come in, you don't risk running into somebody else's train of zombies. But yeah, if you get enough distance and then just start walking, you'll lose the zombies like that. And then you can log out here. And when you finish looting the place, I would just suggest doing this run as your final run. And then you'll just head in this direction, hit Whitestone Mountain, avoid Rocky Ford, and go right into Castle Pine Settlement, and you'll be fine. Alright, well, I hope this was informative, possibly helpful, and good luck looting Boulder City.